Queen and her baby end up in town and stop at a shop. She gets offered a job as a wet nurse. While Queen's out, she spots her baby daddy in the street. He's leading a group of black men on strike, demanding fair wages. Queen confronts him and he meets the baby for the first time. He basically tells her she wanted a piece of him, well she got it, and he's not staying because he has bigger battles to fight. Toxic as hell, but they still end up hooking up again, of course. Queen shows up late to work and the white woman she works for tells her the men are in danger. Queen panics and runs to warn the baby's father, leaving her child behind. That white woman definitely set her up. The white hood people give a full speech on white supremacy. They use Queen's child to lure the baby daddy out, then hang and burn him in front of the crowd. Queen finds her baby daddy dead and her son Abner still alive under his body, locked in a cage. Time jump, Abner can walk now. They catch a boat heading north. Queen says she's trying to make a new start. On the boat, a man casually talks about a kitchen maid job and Queen's ears perk up. She ends up working for a white man named Mr. Cherry. She makes it real clear this is temporary. He's an abolitionist, but that doesn't mean his guests are. At dinner, Queen accidentally spills ice water on a racist woman who calls her N-word. Queen snaps.
You ain't have no right calling other people names when you don't know nothing about them. My pappy was white, and here's a for him, and they came from Ireland. And if when you go shaking your family tree, you just may find you got a little itty-bitty bit of Negro blood in you too.
Everyone keeps trying to talk Queen into calming down. We cut to a woman telling Mr. Haley, the ferryman, he needs a wife for his son and for himself. Typical. Next day, Abner follows Mr. Haley and ends up at his house. Queen panics but finds him safe. Haley offers her a side job watching his son and she agrees. Now she's working 2 jobs and she's tired. Mr. Haley tells her to sit and let some of that anger go. She finally does and they actually talk. Turns out his wife died. She's smiling more, even singing at work, but flash forward, she marries Alec Haley. Then she has a new baby, Simon. Henry's calling her mama. Everything seems peaceful for once. Simon grows up and doesn't want to work the land like his dad. He wants to stay in school or maybe go to college. Queen argues with Alec to let him stay in school. He folds. They head back to the plantation where she was born. Turns out James died. She shows her sons the land and where she grew up. They run into Miss Lizzie, who still ain't shit. She says Queen never belonged there. They leave. Flash forward, Simon graduates. First black boy in Savannah to finish grade school. Queen wants to send Simon to a normal school. Alec says no. Mr. Cherry talks some sense into him. Alec changes his mind, but clearly ain't thrilled. Abner wants to leave too, Memphis or Chicago. Queen tells him no, but he's going. They argue. Alec says he can go, and Queen flips. Says Alec ain't even his real daddy. Alec storms off. Queen spirals, sets herself on fire, and ends up in a field. She's taken to a hospital, an asylum. They waterboard her. Alec visits and she tells him nobody ever asked what she wanted. Next day, she asks Mr. Cherry for a favor. $50 so Abner can leave too. She says she'll pay him back. He gives it to her, no strings attached. Queen finally says she wants to go home and say goodbye to her sons. The doctor lets her go. She finds Abner, apologizes, and tells him he can always come home. Both boys leave together. It's just Alec and Queen now. She finally tells him about her life before him. In the final scene, we find Abner eventually came back and worked the farm. Simon graduated from Lane College, got his master's at Cornell, and became Dean of Agriculture. Simon had 3 sons, George, lawyer, Julius, an architect, and Alex Haley, the writer. And that's the end of part 3 and the end of Alex Haley's Queen. Here are my final thoughts. So not only was she abandoned by this man, but then they meet up again and he tells her, hey, I was only there for a good time, not a long time. But they hook up. Thank God she didn't get pregnant again. But then he ends up getting unalived. I'm glad that her child didn't pass away. And it's sad that the father of her child passed away. But then I started thinking to myself, like, if these men were also not present in running away back in the day, and they're still doing it now, I'm like, this started a long time ago, abandoning children and at the detriment of the woman that you decided to lay with. I'm glad that she was able to meet Alec Haley, and I'm glad that she was able to talk some sense into him and let the youngest child go to college like he wanted to. It was almost crabs in a bucket mentality, and I'm glad that Mr. Cherry, the white guy that she worked for, talked some sense into him and they allowed him to get more education. Her ending up in an asylum was kind of humbling because I understand, like, as a mother, you give so much of yourself to other people. You have a vision for how you want your life to look and how you want your future to turn out. And for her, she fell in love with the wrong man and he dogged her out, and she ended up in a really bad situation with a whole lot of trauma. And I'm sure back then they didn't have therapy, especially not for black women or black people in general. So it's not like she could go and unload this trauma. It was almost like expected for black people to have trauma back then. So for her to say, no one ever asked what I wanted, in truth, she was kind of like a pawn for everybody else when, you know, I'm sure she had hopes for her future as well. And I'm happy that they were able to finally talk it out and talk about her past at the very end. I think this is like just a really great story. They did a really good job putting it all together, part 1, 2, and 3. It is very long, honey, very long. It's, I don't know, these miniseries TV shows back in the day, they was long as hell. I mean, it's giving me Women of Brewster's Place, but I love both of these for their own different reasons. And I really think that one thing that I take away from this is thank God that women have more rights now and that we have the capability to live our lives to the fullest and how we want to live it without being tethered to a male counterpart or a male authority figure. I don't know how else to say that shit, but thank God we can do things independently, including raise our kids without feeling like we're, well, I mean, we might still struggle a little, but it's better than being in an abusive relationship or with somebody that treats you like poop. I wonder if this is a book. I don't know. I never looked that up. I'm not really into reading books. I'll do audiobooks though. But anyways, guys, that's the end of part 3 and the end of Alex Haley's Queen. Thank you guys for watching. I'm debating on what's next, and I think you're just gonna have to see next week. Thank you guys for watching again. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.